The audacity is absolutely unbelievable. Just when you thought the dump divers in the WNBA could not be any more entitled, just when you thought the unreasonable demands couldn't be any more unreasonable, one of the legends in pretend basketball takes it upon herself to bite the hand that generously feeds this dump of a league. But there was one problem. One tiny problem. This time, the hand finally decided to bite back. You know, I was fortunate enough to have my parents pay my way through college. I was very, very lucky. When you're 18, 19, 20 years old, you really don't have a firm understanding of money. You don't understand how much your parents are spending or sacrificing to actually support you. I loved college. Those 6 years were some of the best years of my life. The only thing I didn't like about college was the part where I had to go to class. Whether it was 8 in the morning or 2 in the afternoon, class always found a way to be inconvenient with my social life. The morning classes were always too early because I was out all night the night before, and the afternoon classes, they were inconvenient because I was often enjoying some of God's special herbs. Before the first semester of my final senior year, I managed to have a couple of them, but before the first semester of my final senior year, my dad sat me down and told me, "This is your last year of college. You got two choices. Either you graduate or I'm done paying for it. Either way, by this time next year, you're cut off financially. I'm done supporting you. It's time for your ass to grow up." Now, looking back at it now, I can understand his frustration. His son was on his way to taking 6 years to complete a 4-year degree. His son was living the good life while dad was sweating his ass off every day, running his company and working in 90-degree heat, while I was well on my way to needing a liver transplant. Needless to say, I finally got serious my final senior year of college and I graduated. Once the security of dad's money was taken away, and mom's money too, once the security of my parents' money was taken away, it forced me to get serious. It was time to grow up. It was time to quit screwing around. If my dad hadn't threatened to cut me off, I would probably still be in college. You'd be calling me Dr. Casey instead of Uncle Casey, even though I wouldn't actually be a doctor. I'd be a pretend doctor, kind of like Jill Biden. As I was watching this clip this afternoon of Lisa Leslie demanding that NBA players sacrifice their salaries for WNBA dump divers, it reminded me of that conversation with my dad from all those years ago. Adam Silver could actually learn something from my father. Hell, he could also learn something from Draymond Green. It is time for the WNBA to grow up. It is time for the WNBA to rely on themselves. But they're never going to do that as long as they're being subsidized by the NBA. They're never going to stand on their own as long as they are being supported by real basketball players. But like most kids relying on their parents, the WNBA is afraid to stand on their own. Not only are they unwilling, they're also demanding. Make sure to like and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at KC_BTL84. Let's go ahead and get to the sponsor for today's video, my good friends at Fuel Guys. Let me ask you something. You brush your teeth every day, hopefully multiple times every day, right? I would hope that you shower twice a day too. It's what we do. It's basic maintenance for our hygiene. It's something we do without having to think about it. So how come we don't treat our cars the same way? We pump gas, we drive, and we expect everything to run fine. Unfortunately, that's just not how it works. Fuel today is not what it used to be. Ethanol blends, carbon buildup, water in the tank. These things take a toll on our engines, which is why I have started using Fuel Guys gas and complete formula diesel treatment. All you do is you use an ounce of fuel guys treatment for every 10 gallons of gas. The treatment takes care of everything else. It keeps your system clean and protected, and it simply makes your engine run better. Look, I know nothing about cars. Outside of pumping gas, I am completely useless. But applying fuel guys treatment, it is so simple, even I could figure it out. Every time I get gas, I put an ounce or two in my tank. I'm good to go. It is a good habit to form. So click the link in the description below. Use my promo code BTL25, BTL25. Start taking better care of your engine today and receive 25% off of your first order with Fuel Guys. If you have been following my channel for a while, you know how much I detest Draymond Green. In my opinion, Draymond Green, one of the most overrated players in the history of the NBA. If Dre were drafted by the Charlotte Hornets, he would be unknown. He would be more anonymous than the Las Vegas anonymous faces in the dump. But because he was drafted by the Rainbow Warriors, he was able to hang on to Superman's cape and elevate his mainstream profile. Credit where credit is due, though. Draymond Green is a smart dude. He found a way to become a superstar as a role player. Now, I cannot stand Draymond Green, the basketball player, but one thing I have noticed throughout the playoffs, I actually like Draymond Green, the NBA analyst. During the playoffs, he was a part of the crew on Inside the NBA on TNT. He was a great addition to the team. Unlike the NBA analyst at ESPN, Draymond Green is actually qualified to analyze the league. He's able to provide insight that 99% of the population is unqualified to give. One thing I've always respected about Draymond Green, he is not afraid to speak his mind. I don't always agree with him, but I never have to question the authenticity of his opinion. He says what he means and means what he says. Yesterday, there was a clip circulating on Twitter of Draymond Green and Lisa Leslie. It appears to be an old episode of The Shop, which was a show produced by LeBron James. There haven't been any new episodes released since last summer, so the clip is at least that old. But the date of the recording isn't as important as the mentality that was shown in the clip. After this season, WNBA players will be negotiating a new collective bargaining agreement. Translation, they'll be asking for more money. They'll be demanding a significant increase to their minimum wage. Who will they be negotiating with? Who will be responsible for approving the increase? Who will have to sacrifice in order to donate even more money to WNBA players who haven't earned a damn peso? The NBA and its players. Normally, WNBA players are allowed to make demands like this without resistance. Normally, people are too afraid to push back and tell them, you're not worth the money that you're currently being paid, or donated in this case. But Draymond Green, he was more than willing to tell Lisa Leslie to fuck off. Watch for yourself.
The WNBA is rocking. What could we have more? I mean, I just think, from a salary standpoint, it'd be great for the women to be able to make more money. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of hard work. I think I saw something that said like one player that makes maybe $12 million on the NBA team could cover the whole WNBA salary. But I do feel like the pay gap would be something that, we could just take a donation around the NBA maybe one night y'all don't go to the casinos.
I have something on this though, because it pisses me off. It pisses me off because I don't think there's anyone in America that supports the WNBA more than NBA players.
100%.
The NBA players support the WNBA like
the most.
More than we probably support the fucking NBA. And it bothers me.
Just think about the audacity you have to have. Just think about the level of entitlement you gotta have to demand more money from your primary subsidizer. This league has never generated a single peso in profit. This league has been pretending to play basketball for decades. They can't get people to buy tickets. The only thing keeping this dump from bankruptcy is the free money that comes in from generous donations from the NBA and its players. And you have the audacity to ask for more? You have the audacity to tell Draymond Green to sacrifice part of his salary so entitled WNBA players can get rich? I think we're going to see more and more of this frustration from the NBA and its players. Remember last fall when the New York Post reported that NBA owners were getting impatient with the dump? They were pressuring Adam Silver to find a way to monetize this turd. Remember that? I would be willing to bet NBA players are just as frustrated. Think about it. From October to April, you're on the road. If you make a deep playoff run, add another 2 months to that. You're away from your family. You're away from your children. You are generating billions of dollars in revenue. Now, sure, NBA players are well compensated, but they should be making more. NBA players are already sacrificing some of their salary, so this damn dump remains in existence. And what do they get in return? How does the WNBA show their gratitude? By telling them to quit going to the casino so WNBA players can receive a bigger piece of the pie. Do not think for a second that Lisa Leslie was saying that in jest. She was being serious. This mentality is prevalent throughout the WNBA. Dump divers believe they're entitled to money they haven't earned. They believe they're entitled to significant raises because they play pretend basketball. You know what I hope? You know what I hope comes out of these CBA negotiations? Now, I'm not a business lawyer or an expert. I have no idea how the WNBA is structured under the NBA umbrella, but I hope the NBA finally decides to make the WNBA a standalone entity. I hope the NBA finally decides to cut the dump loose. I was hoping it was going to happen last year when they were negotiating with the networks, but I got a feeling that Adam Silver included the dump in the NBA's broadcast package because the networks weren't willing to pay for it otherwise. I think it's time for the WNBA to stand on their own. This league has been pampered for far too long. You want hundreds of millions of dollars from the networks? Fine. Prove you can draw an audience. You want $1 million salaries? Fine. Go prove you're worth it. At some point, the NBA has to remove this protective bubble. Right now, there is no pressure on the WNBA to perform. There's no pressure to draw ratings. There's no pressure to present a compelling product. There's never been pressure to perform because they've always had the NBA to fall back on. Maybe, just maybe, that's why the WNBA product has been a steaming turd for 3 decades. There's no pressure to improve it. Give me your thoughts on this. Draymond Green shuts Lisa Leslie down when she demands more money from the NBA. Should the WNBA be a standalone entity? Would the WNBA survive if they were on their own? You tell me. Sound off in the comments below. I'll see you guys tomorrow.